Are you ready? I'm ready. This is my year. I'm gonna be great. You cannot stop me. No one can stop me. This is my year. I'm gonna be great. You cannot stop me. No one can stop me. Are you ready? I'm ready. 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 Visualize it. Visualize it. Manifest it. Manifest it. I mind my business and I no complain. Every day I dey work and pray. As I dey chop, I dey wash my plate. I dey wash my plate. Don't be surprised when you see me elevating. Don't be surprised when you see me celebrating. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when you see me celebrate. This is my year. I'm gonna be great. You cannot stop me. No one can stop me. This is my year. I'm gonna be great. You cannot stop me. No one can stop me. Are you ready? I'm ready. 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 This year they go call you for phone and tell you many, many congratulations. If you believe it, repeat it. Amen, 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 amen. Don't be surprised when you see me elevating. Don't be surprised when you see me celebrating. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised when you see me celebrate. This is my year.
Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Workshop Wednesday. For today's sessions, we move the time a little bit, but next week it will be on the usual time. So welcome everyone. So before we start anything, so tell us where you're tuning in from. And how's your day? How's your weekend? Hello everyone. So I'm very excited for today's topic. It's about AI. So it's not just about AI. So right now, you can use AI for everything. You can code, AI can write a song, AI can write a script, answers your questions, brainstorm, everything. But everyone has the same tool. Everyone has the same AI agent. So how do you stand out using the same AI everyone's using? This is going to be the topic. Hello, welcome from the Big Apple, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, New Jersey. Hello, everyone. So I hope you're having a good day. And don't forget to like, subscribe. And today's topic, it's for everyone. If you're a high school student or beginner developer, career changer, anyone. So today's speaker, her name is Brianne. She's a former data scientist and former computer science program director at the University of Chicago, and she's also a founder of Code Your Dreams. I put it in the descriptions, Code Your Dreams organization. Check it out. It's very good. I just check it out. It's super awesome. So everyone, let's welcome Brianne.
Hello. So happy to be here.
Yeah, hello. How's your day? Or how's your weekend?
It's good. It's good. I just got home. You can see my little pup right here. I was teaching a middle school program that combines computer science and nail art. So that was really fun.
Love your nails. So that's a very weird combination, computer science and nail. And I saw that one of your programs is dance plus robots.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah. We like to combine creativity with computer science and anchor what students are already interested in with technology and innovation.
Yes, your puppy is cute.
Thanks. She'll be here the whole hour.
Yeah, so very excited to be here. So before that, let's start with this or that, shall we? And I believe that folks are going to answer in the comments too. So it's not just you. So for
Nice.
everyone. So before, so the first question is, do you use AI? Or do you prefer AI for debugging or code generation?
Debugging.
Debugging? I think for me it's both. I struggle both. Yeah, debugging is a very hard thing too. So for me it's both. So another one is, do you prefer PC or Mac for development?
I have a Mac, so I'll go with Mac.
Your Mac? Same. I have a Mac too, but I'm thinking to transition to PC.
Yeah.
But I'm still thinking. I might change my mind. So another one is Python or JavaScript, or if you have other programming languages preferences, you can say that.
Definitely Python.
Python, Python is very useful. Everyone is using Python.
It's an all-purpose language. Use it for so many things.
Yes, every single application have Python nowadays, and every single job post they have the like Python descriptions. You need to have Python experience. It's amazing how Python grew so much in these years.
Yes, and it has the largest user group of all programming languages, so really strong community. I think that's also what makes me love it.
Yes, there's a big community too. And another one, it's a bit personal. Do you prefer coffee or tea while you're doing your coding and development work?
Oh yeah, that's the easiest one for me. I always have coffee with me. I drink it all day.
Same. I love coffee.
So good.
And another one, and so passion projects or lead code problems?
Oh my gosh, the easiest. Passion projects.
I think you learn more by that rather than solving lead code questions. Doing your own projects, you learn more, you know more about it. And the last one, so theory first or project first?
I think I'm gonna go with theory.
Theory?
Yeah.
So I think that'll be it. That's it for the this and that questions. And the chat is ready. The audience is hype. So I'm gonna hand the mic to you. The stage is yours.
Awesome. Well, hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be in community with you today. We'll be tackling a big challenge that everyone is facing, whether you have 0 or 1 year of experience, whether you have 50 years of experience. Everyone is facing the challenge of how do I stand out in tech in an AI world? I do really want to emphasize that I want you to take what makes sense to you out of this presentation. If there's no such thing as a one size fits all strategy. So whatever works for you, take it. Whatever you feel, maybe isn't best fit for you, no problem. Feel free to leave that. And I want you to ask questions. I want you to engage. Really, everyone here has knowledge and experience. So share your thoughts, share your ideas in the chat. Because, we're going to get the most value when we're all sharing our ideas and we can all learn from one another. So my name is Brianne Caplan. I go by Bree, so feel free to call me Bree. I started my career as a data scientist, and data science was very different when I got started in my career. Tech was very different when I started my career. And so I started my career as a data scientist, and what I found out was that technology wasn't as accessible of an industry as I wanted. So I started a few after school programs where I live, which is in Chicago. And those programs spread all around Chicago. We started doing programs all around the US, all around the world. And so I serve as the executive director of Code Your Dreams. We're a nonprofit. We work with students as young as kindergarten, all the way up to adults and senior adults. And so it's a really cool job that I have now, going from data science to the nonprofit, about what it looks like to recruit in this new AI-driven world. And we are also going to do a little bit of activity here. So I see in the chat that it might be frozen. So let me know if it's on my end or if there's anything I should do. Okay, so I am going to, okay, good. It looks like it's back now, so that's great. So let's just get into it. This is where I want to get some feedback from you all. So what feels hardest about tech recruiting right now? And I'd love you to put it in the chat. Is it number one, getting noticed? So do you feel like you're submitting resumes and it's hard to even get that interview? It's hard to feel noticed and stand out? Do you feel, number two, that it's knowing which skills to learn? Number three, do you feel it's talking about your experience and thinking about how to frame your skill set? Or number four, do you think it's competing in an AI-powered market? So thinking, if everyone's using ChatGPT or LLM of choice, I'm really hard figuring out how do I stand out with that background. So I'm going to give everyone a little bit to put that in the chat. So it looks like all of them are resonating. Maybe especially number one and number four, but I'm also seeing number two. All of them. Yeah, they're all definitely a challenge. I love the all caps. All of the above. I agree. Okay, great. So the good thing is that, we just have about an hour together. We're going to try to address all four of these challenges, and all four are real. So let's get started. AI has changed a lot. So if we take a step back, yes, things are changing, but just remember that your potential has not. So a lot of times companies, they're less interested in where you are right now, and they're more interested in your potential. So that's where you can grow with the right training and onboarding, with mentorship, with time and support. And that is not changing, that your potential still matters. What is changing are a few things. So one is that AI is really generating a lot of the output that we're seeing both in industry as well as within recruiting. almost everyone is using an LLM to help with their resumes, their application materials. And so that changes expectations and what output needs to look like. So I was having a conversation just before this. We were saying, 10 years ago, if you were able to code, you got a job in tech. Now AI can generate code. So that's not enough. Today, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about how do we emphasize our humanity in order to get that job. We know that adding judgment when we're using AI through recruiting is super important. So adding that judgment to your materials is extremely important, whether that's context, accountability, ethics, original perspective. You all know that. And really, number 3 is that together you'll create stronger work. So adding AI, right? AI is a tool for you all to use, whether it's in your work or within recruiting, combining that with what you know, that human judgment is going to be super powerful. And it's those who are only relying on AI who will unfortunately fall behind, especially in recruiting. So let's talk about that recruiting landscape. These are things that you've probably noticed already. You can bet yourself that there are now more polished applications. It used to be we had to hand type all our applications. Now it's very easy for them to be incredibly polished. But we also, and I saw this in the chat, companies are now using AI to do a lot of their recruiting. There's always been ATS, that's applicant tracking systems, that have looked out for keywords, but now they're doing even more pattern recognition. So knowing that, we can use that information when thinking about our application materials. So when AI is being used on the company's end, we know that we've done the personalization necessary in order to stand out with those applicant tracking systems. The next change that we're seeing in the market is skills-based hiring is on the rise. So it's not just about what school you went to, what title you held, but it's really now about your skills, what you're able to accomplish, and how you're showing that in your materials. So resume, LinkedIn, GitHub, whatever it is that you're using within your materials. And then finally, generic materials are becoming much, much easier to spot. There's a lot of individuals that are putting into an LLM, here's a link to the job description, make me a resume that would make me a really good fit for this position. It's really important that we're adding in our human judgment, that we're being accurate, and really detailed with our application materials, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. So, yes, technical skills are growing in this new AI has been around for decades, but new AI world that we live in. But just remember that human skills are not going away. And so we don't want to only focus on the technical skills, especially today. We really, really need to work on and emphasize our human skills as well when code can be generated by AI. So of course, fast growing tech skills, some of them include AI, machine learning literacy, data analysis and interpretation. Cybersecurity is huge, especially as we keep seeing so many hacking issues, and those issues are becoming more and more significant. We're seeing a lot of automation and digital systems and just overall general technological adaptability. What I think is really interesting, though, are those enduring human skills. So your analytical and critical thinking, having really clear communication, that's both speaking as well as writing. We've always known that documentation is incredibly important within software engineering and tech. And there's ways that we can show that with our application materials. So for example, having a README file with your GitHub repos, super helpful. You can even record a video talking about your GitHub repo or talking about a project that's in GitHub. And so that's going to showcase your amazing speaking skills, presentation skills as well. Thinking about creative problem solving, resilience and adaptability is huge. Even coachability is huge. And that's something that can be gleaned from your technical interviews, right? We know within technical interviews that a lot of times your interviewer is going to signal to you that maybe you're not going in the right direction. And then you really want to be open to that. It shows you're coachable, that you can read that signal and say, you know, that's a really good point. I think there might be an alternate way for me to solve this problem. So let's go that route instead. Okay, I'll continue. Leadership and collaboration. And then finally, one of my favorites and probably one of yours, which is curiosity and lifelong learning. Extremely important just feature to have of yourself. So thinking about, okay, that is a lot. How can I think of my skill set almost like a stack, like a tech stack? And so really thinking about these 4 categories. One being, of course, your technical fluency, so your ability to build, analyze, design, test, or solve in whatever domain that might be, whether it's cybersecurity, see a lot of cybersecurity people in the chat, whether that's design or fintech or whatever it is you're interested in. The second is AI fluency, so being able to use AI thoughtfully to verify its output and to know its limits. This is becoming really important within the job market. There's a lot of individuals who are maybe over relying on AI. That becomes clear in your projects, maybe on your resume if it looks very AI coded. So making sure that you're reviewing all of your materials and projects and making sure that if you are using AI, you're using it thoughtfully and you understand, again, its limits. Third, we talked about human skills. And then fourth, the visible proof has always been and is even more incredibly important. Being able to show examples, outcomes, lessons, and real evidence of your work. Why is this important? Well, I can very easily go into Claude Code and tell it to give me code for a Wordle game. This used to be something that I would have to code myself, but now I can just have an LLM give me the code. I could put that into my GitHub and put on my resume that I built a Wordle game. But being able to actually showcase the, your lessons, the real evidence of your work, how you didn't just use AI, but you really, understand the systems and what what was challenging, what you would want to do next time, how you can improve it. These are questions that you're going to be asked on all of your coding examples in your portfolio, because companies and recruiters need to see, did you actually work on this, or did you just copy and paste code? We have some very, very interesting ideas and thoughts too in the chat. I really appreciate everyone adding to the chat. I love the comments that, we need to make sure that we're using AI ethically. This could be its own talk that I can give, but I'm going to try to stay on topic. The next thing to think about, especially in the world of AI, is, it used to be okay to just say, I want to work in tech and I'm kind of happy to go wherever it is. Today, in a world where everything is tech, data is the new oil, We really need to get more specific for recruiting, and recruiters want to see exactly where you want to be. So really showing that you've reviewed the description, you've reviewed and researched the company, that there's a reason why you specifically are a good fit for this job is going to be really, really important, whether that's being a front-end developer, a data analyst, a UX researcher, a cybersecurity professional. And there's, a few questions that I think would be really helpful for reflection, especially if you're not sure where you want to go. So, number one, I want you to ask yourself, what problems do I enjoy solving? Number two, who do I want to help? And number three, what combination of skills can I become known for? I think being able to answer these three questions are super important. I hope valuable for you. Okay, moving on. Another thing that's changed with AI is that we now need to stop reading job descriptions just like wish lists. I was going to have an activity here, but I think I'm just going to describe the activity. And if you're interested in it, I would encourage you to do it on your own. I want to give you more time to ask questions. That's why I just decided I'm going to skip the time for the activity. So this activity is, I'd love for you to find a job posting and decode it using 4 different lenses. So this could be a job that you actually want to apply to. Maybe it's your dream job. Number one, I want you to look at repeated technical skills. So are there maybe 2 or 3 technical skills that appear more than once? If so, those are probably non-negotiables. It can also be a really good activity if you're wondering, what do I learn next? To get a collection of maybe 5 or 10 of your dream jobs, highlight what are the skills they require, and the ones that are highlighted the most, that's an indication for you of that's your next thing to learn if you don't already know it. Okay, moving on. So number 2 is, can you find any hidden human skills? So would love for you to find 2 human skills embedded in the description. A hint is these are often listed as you are or you will. So you are a person that is creative and loves to solve big problems. Number 3 is the core problem. So what is the company actually trying to solve by hiring for this role? And can you name it in 1 sentence? This is huge. If you understand this, you can really personalize the interviews and your application materials to the core problem and show, hey, I'm not only interested in your core problem, but I think I have the skill set to solve it. Number 4 is the connection point. So can you identify one experience that connects to what they need? This does not have to be a formal experience. This doesn't have to be a job or internship. This could be a personal project. This could be a class that you did. This could be a hackathon project. And if you can't find a connection point, maybe make one. That would make you such a strong candidate. Again, feel free, if this is an activity that resonates with you, feel free to take a screenshot or a picture of this and do it on your free time. So I'm going to leave this up for 5 seconds just in case. Okay. The next activity that I think is really valuable in a world of AI is creating your 1-sentence value statement. This is going to help you in your interviews as well as your application materials. So your value statement It gives people a clear, memorable starting point. It can evolve, and its job is to open the door, not close the deal. This value statement, many of you have probably heard someone introduce themselves and it's a 5-minute long introduction and maybe it's a bit convoluted. This value statement will help add clarity to your materials or even just to your own introduction. The framework is I use fill in the blank skills to help fill in the blank people or organization achieve fill in the blank outcome. Some examples, I'll list a couple. One is for accessible design. I build accessible digital experiences that make technology easier for people to use. An example for community-driven development. I combine software development and community engagement to build tools around real human needs. And yes, there's a point in the chat. This is super similar to an elevator pitch and can help you refine your elevator pitch. This is something, also an activity that you can do. And we'll keep going. The next thing that's really important in the world of AI, where human skills need to be emphasized, is it's not enough to just claim your soft skills. You've probably seen resumes with soft skill, comma separated lines of, clear communication, organized, comma, et cetera, et cetera. It's one thing to state it. It's another to prove them. So we have some examples here. Instead of saying on your materials, I am a strong communicator, it is so much stronger to say, I translated technical findings into a 5-minute presentation for a non-technical audience. Why? Anyone can say they're a strong communicator, but it's another thing to prove it. These are all examples for soft skills. They also apply for technical skills, right? On the resume, you might have a programming languages section. Of course, you can say you have experience with Python, comma, Java, comma, Ruby, comma, JavaScript, and so on and so on. But do you actually know those languages? It's much different if you had a project section that showed actually how you use those programming languages. I'll keep going. Another example is you can say, I am collaborative, but it's another thing to prove it by saying, I incorporated feedback from users, designers, and developers into the final product. And then one more that I'll read is you could say I'm a leader, or you could say, I organized a 4-person team, clarified responsibilities, and helped meet an accelerated deadline. We'll keep going. A framework that will help with this is the CARR framework, which helps reveal that human judgment, which someone that just used an AI wouldn't be able to do easily. So again, we really need to emphasize that human judgment in a world where anyone can spit out a resume or polished application materials using AI. So I'm going to go over this CARR framework, and then I'm going to give you an example. We start with the C, which is context. Of course, the person needs to understand what is the context. So what was the situation? The A, which is action. Okay, I understand the situation, but what did you actually do? What did you, not your team, but what did you do? And you want to be specific about your role. right? If you interned for a company, I don't really care what the company does. I want to know what your role was within that company and the project that you're talking about. Then the first R is reasoning. And this is where it's the differentiation. So why did you choose that approach? Were there certain trade-offs that you had to weigh? And this is where it becomes so real world, because I can ask AI to create some incredible system, but it didn't use human judgment. So if I'm comparing two people, one person that just created something with AI and the other person who actually used reasoning to figure out the best way to create that solution, I definitely want to pick the second person, right? And then the third is the result and reflection. And yes, this is very similar to the STAR method. CAR is just using an AI framework, just considering AI, because the STAR method was created before the rise of AI. So the final R is result and reflection. So also very important. So what changed? What did you learn and what would you do differently, right? Because if I just had AI write all of the code, I don't know what I would do differently next time. But if I actually understand the code, had a strategy, really considered the tech stack, right? There's multiple ways to solve a problem, then I would know what I actually learned and I would know what I might do differently. So an example would be, our workshop registrations were declining. I interviewed 5 students, discovered the form was confusing on mobile, redefined it, and increased completed registrations by 30%. I learned to validate the problem before jumping to a technical solution. Right. So this is another activity, and sorry, when I downloaded this as a PDF, the formatting got a little jumbled. So this is an activity to turn one of your experiences into evidence. Basically, I just want you to practice using the CAR method. That's really it. Okay, moving on. Thinking about AI and really relates here to what we were just talking about is that your portfolios are going to become more important in a world of AI. And this is because proof is becoming more necessary within the job search or the internship search. And this is because your projects will show not just what you did, but the why and the how you did something. This is why documentation is so important with your projects. So I really want you to think about these 6 questions that all of your projects should answer, and think about being able to embed it within your job search. I do see in the chat, and this really resonates with me, about having a good project on GitHub, but it still doesn't do anything because now it's so easy to use Claude Code and put something on GitHub. We have to now emphasize our human judgment, human features to show that we actually know what we're doing, that we didn't just use AI and paste it onto GitHub. We have to go the even step further. And I'm so sorry to that you have to do this extra work. It's the reality, unfortunately, of the world that we live in today. And there are so many job searchers who are using AI like that. So again, back to the 6 questions that every project should answer. 1, what problem were you trying to solve? 2, who was the user or audience? 3, what was your specific role? 4, what decisions and trade-offs did you make? 5, did you test or iterate on this? From the majority of projects, the answer is no. And then finally, what happened and what would you do next? If someone just used an AI tool, they would not be able to answer any of these questions. And so this is why these are questions that are just constantly being asked. So we have an example here. You could say, I built a budgeting app using React. Or a stronger statement would be, I designed a mobile budgeting tool for college students with inconsistent income, interviewed 6 students, prioritized 3 core features, tested the prototype with real users, and simplified onboarding based on feedback. Okay, I'm going to try to keep going because I want to make sure I get to questions. I'm going to start skipping slides, I think. And so there's 3 big buckets that you can focus on when including some of these detail. So having your resume, your LinkedIn, and then your GitHub or your portfolio. I do want to highlight a few things within here. One is really paying attention to the language from the job description and also making sure to quantify outcomes. So it's one thing to say, let's say you're an intern at Google. It's one thing to say that you debugged code. It's another thing to say that you drove 50% efficiency for that product. Or it's another thing to say that what you built is now saving engineers 2 hours per week because of what you built. So by having those outcomes, that's really showing that what you built is working and it has an impact. I'm going to keep going back to this, but this is so much more important in a world of AI because now anyone can build a product, but does your product actually work? Right. Next, I'm going to go to LinkedIn, and you want to make sure that all of these points are really reflected throughout your application materials. LinkedIn, it is a way to stand out. Unfortunately, LinkedIn is now filled with a lot of just AI garbage. So many people are able to very quickly recognize what is AI garbage. So making sure that if you are leveraging LinkedIn or these platforms, that you're really speaking authentically from yourself. And then again, for GitHub and portfolio, thinking about, am I creating those readmes? Can I create a video? I can post it on my YouTube and link it throughout where I'm explaining my process. I'm answering those 6 questions, making sure that your code is being commented, all of that. You all know that networking is a huge human advantage. And the interviews, even more because of AI, the interviewers want to see how you work, not just what your final answer is. So if you are engaging in a technical interview, for example, someone gives you a problem, the first thing you want to do is clarify before you answer, because most likely you're not given all of the information that you need. Second is to think aloud selectively. You don't want to just say everything that's coming to mind, but really explaining your code out loud or your problem solving out loud is very important because the interviewer wants to know how you think. The third is, and this is around human judgment, really explaining decisions and trade-offs, right? There's multiple ways to solve a problem, but why did you pick that specific approach? And then finally, being able to admit uncertainty confidently. Something like, I don't know yet, but here's how I would find out, is a super strong and honest answer to have. You are not going to be able to always answer every question that you get asked, right? But knowing how you would figure out how to solve that answer, that's brilliant. Okay. You all know that we don't want to use AI as a ghostwriter, but really as a coach. I think of this as like this AI preparation loop where you're using AI in a way that's, for example, a debugging buddy, not just as the tool that's writing your entire project. There are certain prompts that I have here that might be useful for you to use. And then here is an example workflow that you might set for yourself for the next month if you're someone that you really want to get started. So I'm sure many of you are ahead of this, but this is for the person that might be just getting started. You could say week 1, I'm going to choose my direction. So maybe pick a few sample job descriptions and identify a couple target roles. Week 2 is really strengthening your proof. So think about, do I have a project that I can improve on? I can add those human elements, the documentation. Week 3, thinking really about, how do I strengthen my story? Can I write a few CARR stories? And maybe practicing even a 30-second pitch or an introduction. And finally, week 4, starting to build those human connections, right? Yes, it's an AI world, but we're still a human world. So maybe you can try contacting a few people and come up with some thoughtful, specific messages, or even complete a couple of mock interviews. So I'm now going to end here so I can answer some questions. I know there's been a few questions in the chat, so I'm going to click on start. Okay. Question 1. What do you think about majoring in computer science while AI is replacing many jobs in the field? This is a brilliant question, and a question that so many people are asking. At the end of the day, and this is my personal perspective, people have various perspectives, is that computer science is even more important in a world of AI. Why? Because the people who understand the systems behind technology are the ones that are not going to fall behind. Being able to understand the code base is incredibly important. We're already seeing companies see a lot of issues when they're integrating AI without having enough people who understand how it's actually working, which is why a lot of companies had layoffs thinking AI could solve the problems. And then they've been hiring back people into those technical roles. So my perspective is, if you love computer science, if it's a field of study that you're interested in, I still believe it is incredibly important. And we know AI isn't just replacing computer science jobs. It's, we're seeing lots of changes in the market. It does change how computer science is being studied and how computer scientists are working in the field today. In 5 years, it might be completely different. So we got to stay on our toes. The next question I have is, what advice do you have for students to ensure they don't develop blind spots or weaken their own critical thinking by letting AI do the heavy lifting during their education? This is a brilliant question. I think everyone needs to ask themselves. When ChatGPT first came out, I thought it was so cool, and I let it write all my emails. And a month later, I thought, wait, I feel like I can't write an email anymore because I'm so dependent on ChatGPT. I already started seeing my own cognitive decline and had to decide for myself, I don't need to use this for writing emails. I am just capable enough to write my own emails. Yes, it takes me a little bit longer, but actually my results are better when I do it myself. And it's important for me that I don't cognitively decline like that for everything. So what I'd say for you is really draw a line for yourself, how you want to use AI in a way that doesn't hurt your own learning and your own pathway. Of course, AI can still be a tool, right? You can ask AI, this is what I'm doing. What are my own blind spots, right? It can kind of help you in that way, but I do think it's really important. Frustration is really our brain telling ourselves that we're growing and learning. And with AI, it's hard to stay in a state of frustration when we're working on a problem. I'd really encourage you to continue problem solving even when you feel frustrated, and not just, take the easy route of going to AI immediately. Okay, next question. How can students use AI? I think that's a similar question, without becoming too dependent on it. I agree. I mean, they're really thinking critically about how I'm using it and making sure that you're not just letting it answer for yourself. Especially for students, your learning is most important, right? If you're doing a problem set, the answer isn't what's valuable. Yes, the answer maybe gets you the grade, but what's actually valuable is the process and the learning. So if you're just using AI to get to the right answer, then that's going to be negative for your own learning, most likely. The next question, what are a couple AI tools you would recommend for someone building a portfolio? With no prior experience. I don't know if I understand this question. Is it if you don't have computer science experience? I might recommend not focusing on AI, but focusing on a problem. So if you're someone who doesn't have computer science experience, think of a computer science problem that you can solve. There's two ways to start a project. One is skill-based. So is there a skill I really want to learn? Let's say you really want to learn Python. You could say, okay, what kind of project can a small achievable project can I build where I get to use Python or other technical skill of choice, and then building around that. The second avenue is interest-based. So do I have something that's really exciting to me or I'm interested in? For example, do I love outer space and I want to use a NASA data set and I'm going to use Python to visualize the stars? Or do I love video games and I want to, using Java or Unity, I want to recreate my favorite childhood video game? And so that's another avenue to start building your portfolio. You could then, I think, Claude, any of the LLMs, especially if you're getting stuck and you can't find the solution. But even more, I really like Stack Overflow. I like YouTube. So you could use YouTube to learn how to, for example, create a simple data visualization with Python. People write blogs about how to create technical projects. So you might actually not need to use as much AI, but depending on your preference. Next question we have, should we prioritize automation, so where AI does it fully, or augmentation, the human does it, AI turbocharges it in completing tasks? This is a toughie because it really depends on what your goal is. And I think this is where there are trade-offs that become very, very interesting. It's interesting for developers these days who are prioritizing where AI does it fully, because back in the day, developers used to be able to explain in detail every single line of code in a code base. Now, with developers that are using AI, you might ask about a certain program feature. They might not even know that that feature exists because AI went and created that feature, and the developer has no way to even talk about it because they didn't actually write that line of code. So I think it's, there's a middle ground and it depends on what your goals are. Next question. What is your creative process for combining passions in tech, for example, coding and art? Again, I think it's really important that that my projects are authentic to myself and I find joy in the work that I do. And for me, I have a lot of joy and I learn well when I'm doing things that are interesting to me. So for me, it's like art and creativity combined with computer science. And so my process is just trying, failing, and learning from those failures until I get to something that works really well, not being afraid to try new things. Also, continuing to ask myself, what else could I be doing? Were there things that I enjoyed when I was younger that I no longer do, and why, right? Like, when I was little, I loved doing art. And then for so long in my adulthood, I never did art. Why? Why can't I combine that thing that I love with my career? So that's just a little bit about my own process. I'm going really fast. Sorry, guys. How do I go about it if a project failed, but I still want to use that as a car example? That's a brilliant question because we learn so much from our failures. And again, it's not always about the output, right? Let's say you started a company while you're in college and failed. That could be a beautiful example that you use in your interviews because, yes, it didn't become a unicorn company. Maybe it wasn't even profitable, but I'm sure you learned so much and built so many skills through that experience. Same thing for any project. It's what did you learn? What would you do differently next time? How did you grow as an individual? And how are you going to apply that to what you're applying for? Great question. Next. Why does the plan wait until week 4 to reach out to people? Wouldn't it help starting networking earlier in the sprint? I completely agree with you. Again, just like I said in the beginning, take what you agree with and feel free to leave out what doesn't resonate. I thought it would be helpful to structure in the 4 weeks as distinct themes. Mix it up however you think is best, or do them all simultaneously. Networking can change your entire life trajectory, right? Like, we've probably had 1 or 2 people in our lives who have changed the way we think, who have opened up doors for us. So I agree, never discount networking. Okay, I know I only have 2 more minutes, but I think I'm getting to all of the questions. Okay, what is one common mistake students make when using AI for school projects or building a resume? I think it's that it's students focusing too much on getting the right answer and not what is the process, because the process is the most important part for a student and it's how you learn. And then for building a resume, I think it's being too AI coded. People are really tired of seeing things that are so obviously AI. And then also not being specific enough, because again, anyone can use an LLM and say, create a resume for me that is a good fit for this position. it's something else to be a real person and to actually show your genuine experiences and how that lines up to what you're applying for. Okay, I feel like that was a marathon. So thank you so much, everyone, for your amazing questions.
Yeah, we would love to be respectful of your time. Thank you, everyone, for your questions, for your anticipations, and everything. I know you guys are still asking questions, but I will have to be respectful of Bree time. So, just one last thing before you're leaving, and give us one last advice that we'll all remember.
Yeah, I think the last thing I will say is it's a hard time in the market. It's a hard time recruiting. It's always a hard time when you're making your next step in your career, starting your career. Just remember that where you are right now is the perfect place to be. As long as you're open to growth, as long as you're learning, you're going to look back on these days and say, I wish I wasn't so stressed. I wish I wasn't so hard on myself, because you're probably way more critical of yourself than is even helpful to be. So remember to take time to take some deep breaths. Remember, you're here, so you're doing the right thing. And I just wish you all so much luck, and just thank you for being in community here.
So relax, everyone. Take your time. All right. So thank you, everyone. This will be the end of our sessions. And thank you, Bree, for amazing sessions.
Thank you. Right. Bye.
Everyone.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. This is my year. I'm gonna be great.